Pat Mesiti live at 5 on Monday, and well, what a weekend. Dictator, comrade, Chairman Dan throws Mikakos under the bus. I'm telling you, this guy's great at throwing people under the bus. You know, I read an interesting quote the other day, and I want to read it to you. It says, to solve a problem, you have to recognize your share of responsibility. If you blame the others, you will never solve it. Dictator Dan has got a way of throwing people under a bus. Nobody knows anything, and anybody that knows somebody who knew anybody is now nobody. It seems like nobody knew anything about everything. It seems to me that, as my friend James McPherson, which I'll show you this later on in the week, anybody didn't tell somebody anything. Now let me figure this out. $130 million of public money is spent on a quarantine on a private security company. Prime Minister says 3 times I contacted him. Dan says I left the National Cabinet unaware. Was he listening? Or does he choose not to? See, the sad thing about parliamentary inquiry is you can lie and there's no repercussion. Dan Andrews would have to be the most cowardly, lying politician I've ever seen in my 61 years. Let me just explain to you. This guy, this is his cabinet here. The Herald Sun tell us the truth. 3.5 million in public wages we pay these nincompoops. And not one of them can tell us who gave the authority to spend 130 million. You can't do that in a company. Don't they have check requisitions? Did anybody bother to pick up the phone and say, excuse me, Mr. Labor Union delegate and Labor Union, supporter of Dan Andrews? Who signed off on the check? Where's the email trail? I mean, what? Do they just load up and send 130 million with no email trail? No receipt? Or what do they do? Cash in bags, right? The New York mob. 3.5 million, neither Natalie Hutch, Sean Lee, Pearson, who's the assistant treasurer, Ben Carroll, Marion Pakula, industry and support, Joel Pulford, the Ministry of Employment, Jacinda Allen, watch this. No one knows anything. Where is the little guy, the little girl that sent that money unknowingly? And how did they get access to that money? You see, the problem with Dan Andrews and Palaszczuk is they treat us like fools. They treat us like fools. And Dan Andrews' way of answering a leadership problem is throw the health commissioner, throw Jenny Mikakos under the bus. Kind of like Palaszczuk. I mean, do these guys all go to the same school? Where do they learn these brilliant traits of leadership? You see, the guy that should be resigning is Dan Andrews. The person that should be resigning up here is Anastasia Palaszczuk. Matter of fact, I really hope that Steve Miles goes with her. This guy who is, in the words of the National Treasurer, a complete lightweight. Last night I had the great misfortune of listening to our Deputy Prime Minister, who I didn't even know who he was, by the way. This guy, honestly, just like Dan Andrews, cannot answer a straight question. Can someone tell us the truth? Premier Dan, say this. I'm accountable. I did it. I did it. The buck stops with you, Dan. You are the state elected official, the person that should be resigning. See, Dan Andrews thinks that staying in the job, he's going to fix it. The same level of intelligence that got you in this mess is not going to get you out of it. The same level of consciousness that got you into this is not going to get you out of it. That's what Albert Einstein said. Dan, the only honourable thing, if you have any dignity, resign. The constant stringing along, oh, we're going to do this, and we're going to change that, and we're getting closer. Areas of change. The only area of change that this recalcitrant despot did was, well, we're going to stop the curfew. You put the curfew there without permission of the health minister and without any health backing at all. You just went ahead and did it. Why? Flexing your dictatorial muscle, you coward. What's changed? Well, the 5 kilometre rules remain. Stay-at-home rules remain. Businesses remain closed. No additional opening of retail. Restaurants and cafes remain takeaway only. Hairdressing, beauty and gyms remain banned. Community sports remain banned. Meeting with others in your home remains banned. What Dan does is he strings you along all week, makes empty promises, and delivers nothing. This man who doesn't know how his government spent 130 million, or who gave the authority, or who was responsible, or who signed the check or the transfer. I'm sure there's got to be some sort of check requisition trail somewhere. This guy wants to actually also put in place, I love this, he wants to also put in place the dictator's omnibus bill, which enables him to recruit what is effectively his own military force with the powers to arrest and detain citizens indefinitely without any judicial oversight. Well, firstly, the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act, Section 114 says this: states may not raise forces, taxation of property of Commonwealth or state. A state shall not, without the consent of the Parliament of the Commonwealth, raise or maintain any naval or military force or impose any tax on property of any kind belonging to the Commonwealth, nor shall the Commonwealth impose any tax on property of any kind to a state. In other words, you can't do the taxing, and you certainly can't employ a naval or military force, a little army of your own. This man is a dictator and a despot. And again, where is the governor? Hiding. She's hiding down there in Victoria, not looking after her people. Shame on you. I really think it's time that the people of Melbourne just really demanded his resignation. And the foolish people who suffer Stockholm syndrome, who are still supporting him, wake up. Don't be lulled by the handouts this man is giving you. He lied to a parliamentary inquiry. He throws people under a bus. He has no recollection of who, what, when, where. Spent $130 million. That's called incapable leadership. That's called a tyrant. That's called a betrayer. Dan Andrews has betrayed not only his leaders, not only has he betrayed his leaders, he's betrayed his state, he betrayed the nation. And just like every Judas, they end up hanging themselves. I feel absolutely not one bit of compassion to this man. I personally don't think he's mentally well. And him and his cabinet of 8 or 10, whatever he's got here, every single one of them should resign for complete incompetence and disservice to the people of Melbourne. Dan, on your watch, 760 are dead. I don't know how you sleep at night. But you know what? Not only are you killing people, you're killing the economy and the soul and the spirit of the state. I'll have more to say about this during the week, but good luck, Melbourne. Seems like nothing's changed. Oh, you can go for a walk at night now because Dan's letting you. Have a great.